What's up guys, SL7 here, and this is gonna be a much different video than the ones I normally make. So before we go into it, I'm gonna go over a few things. One, I finally have gotten a new computer, but it is not the best computer in the world. It's an HP laptop, and believe me, it is much better than the piece of trash computer that I had previously, but it still does not run games very well. So believe it or not, this is number one, a post commentary. Number two, this video was actually recorded using a remote desktop feature, which I was able to use to record the computer screen on my phone. So this recording was made by my phone, but I used remote desktop to kind of cast it onto the phone screen, because if I use a recording software for the computer, it's gonna lag the game so bad it's gonna render it just unplayable, and it's not gonna be happy. I mean, I'm not happy with the lag it's currently going through right now. So it is gonna be slow through the gameplay. Just try and bear with me there. But I'm gonna be talking about just the main issue that's been going on with the Stick War series, and what's the problem with it. Why is it dying? Just what's going on with that, and what's to expect in the future. So it is no surprise to me when I'm constantly hearing people say the Stick War series is dead, Stick Empires is dead, because it's true. It has died. Now, why has it died down? Well, to put it simply, I feel, again, I could be wrong here, but I feel that the developers completely gave up on their game. So I know for sure that Stick Empires had tons of potential for being such a really good game, because back in the old days, there were tons of people. I say there are almost 300 to 400 views online daily in the past few months. There were tournaments being hosted. There were big YouTubers like Wisdom and Ace Player that continuously uploaded videos on it. I mean, Stick Empires was at its highest moment, one of the greatest games to play. Not super great like, you know, Clash Royale great. I'm just saying that because Clash Royale is a seemingly popular game, but it was pretty high up there in popularity. People actually loved playing it. And well, what caused that to go down was the fact that the developers stopped updating it. Stick Empires has tons of glitches, and it has tons of issues with the units, and it has an unbalanced empire. Elementals is extremely unbalanced. Just problem after problem after problem, not to mention how toxic the players are. But that's to be expected in every gaming community, to be honest. But all these things combined together into not a system, but into a feeling for the players that it was basically just time to abandon it. They didn't see Stick Empires was gonna go anywhere. They saw that the developers had stopped updating it, so they decided, you know what, I'm gonna move on. If they don't care about the game anymore, I don't care about it. That is not the case for me. I actually love the Stick War games because they're just really fun to play, and that's what actually inspired me to make this channel and to start uploading videos on it. I wanted to be that, you know, pro Stick Empires player who uploaded video after video on this, and well, it did do a pretty good job. However, actually, I'm incorrect. This is actually the first Stick War 2 gameplay I'm actually uploading. My whole channel is based off of basically Stick War Legacy, because at the moment I didn't have a computer and that was the only mobile game I could play. And it worked out very, very well. Stick War Legacy did get my channel up there pretty high, especially when the Crown of an Immortal was in beta, and when I released that beta video, they actually put it up on Stick page. But that's old, long gone, dead news. Nobody cares about that. I don't even care about it anymore. But to put it simply, I feel they gave up on their game. Now again, I could be incorrect, but at the same time, I don't know much about the developers because they've never really talked to us. I've tried to reach out to them many times on Google Plus since that's the only way I can really contact them. That's how they started the alpha tested for Stick World Legacy was with the Google Plus community. Which right now has over 4,000 members. But not only is it extremely inactive, but it is filled with garbage posts. There's no other moderator besides Crazy J there, and of course he's obviously never active in his community. So it's basically a crap posting community. You can post whatever you want and you will not get punished for it. You can spam, you can do whatever you want and you won't get punished for it because there's no other moderators there. I even considered asking Brock to become one, but he never responded to me. He doesn't respond to any message that we send in there. So again, ever since that time, people just kind of left Stick Empire. They decided, you know what, again, this game isn't going anywhere, and you know, with the Stick Empire's problems, with tons of glitches and toxic players and the empires not being balanced, I'm telling you, there were tons of efforts to bring this game back to life. People, again, Ace Player made videos on it. There were Google documents going out, how to balance out the empires, how to change the game to make it better, and I put in some contributions myself of my own Google documents, and I emailed them to Brock. That was, I want to say that was almost 7 to 8 months ago. So that's what I'm meaning by the developers gave up on their game, because they're not updating it, and they're not what's the word? They're not showing that they're still there for their players. And it's sad thinking about, because over this course of time, with this lack of commitment from the developers, it has killed every Stick Empire's channel out there. The big ones, Ace Player, Wisdom, Gale Force, Mystery Bat, who actually changed his channel name and doesn't even upload on his channel anymore, and myself. We all made our channels because, you know, to put it simply, it inspired us, and, you know, we were pretty excited about it. But because of this lack of commitment from the developers, you know, no updates coming in, no signs of you even saying, okay, yeah, we're gonna have updates coming, but they won't be for a few months. A simple post like that would have put hope in the community again. And because they didn't do that, it didn't happen. It all just wasted. So because of that, they've all stopped uploading and basically just gave up on the game. Wisdom, I don't know where he is anymore. Ace Player, I don't know where he is anymore. And the Discord server I'm in, the Massive and Immortal Discord, super inactive. No posts there at all. No more tourneys being hosted with this game. Just everything just kind of faded. The way to think about it is like this. It's like, say you have a company, and say the owner decides, you know what, this company sucks, I don't like it, I'm just going to completely turn my back and give up on it. Not going to remove it, but just going to give up on it. So because of that, his company starts falling apart, and no matter, you know, despite the efforts of the management to keep this company up and say, hey, no, your company is really good, you should work hard to keep it going, he just completely gives up on it, and the company just kind of fades into nothing. It doesn't disappear, but it just fades away into nothing. It pretty much dies. That's exactly the case with the Stick War series. And again, it's extremely painful, because I hate to see a game that was showing so much potential and still can actually show a lot of potential just go down and just vanquish into dust. It's really depressing, and it angers me at the same time. So that's one of the reasons why the uploads have slowed. is because of that. I've noticed over the course of my channel, again, ever since ever since that beta video I released on the Crown of Morte, I noticed my channel had a massive boom. I was getting hundreds of thousands of views. I think it was only in that one video, but even afterwards, for the next, I'd say 5 or 6, maybe even 10 videos past that, I was getting thousands, tens of thousands of views, excuse me. But over the time, because of the lack of developer commitment, again, it just started getting stale, and the views on my videos started getting lower and lower and lower and lower, to where I'm barely even getting 100 a month, and that is extremely depressing. And again, it's depressing, and it hurts because, you know, it took me 5 years to get 1,000 subscribers, which I think is a huge accomplishment, and I still want to thank you guys for that. You know, it took me 5 years to get that far, and it's getting even harder for me to gain more because, again, number one, I'm not really finding the time to upload since I'm currently in school and also working at the same time. And number two, I mean, people barely play the game anymore, so they're not going to come back and watch videos on it. Besides the select few people that I know, no other YouTuber from Stick Empires has uploaded a single video to their channel for months on end. And I'm not even sure if they're going to come back to it and continue making videos on it. That was actually my goal, and it kind of still is my goal. The problem with this is I can't run Stick Empires in this computer because look how slow it runs on this game. I had to find a way to reduce the lag, gotta look into removing some programs, possibly upgrading this computer's RAM despite that last one, which the RAM was just garbage, so I didn't bother trying to upgrade it. But I may have to do the same for this computer, so I won't have to use something as crazy as remote desktop connection just so I can record the computer screen itself, which I know is definitely ridiculous. So that's just basically summing it up. Now, have the developers completely disappeared? No. As far as I know, they're actually working on a mobile game called Mini Legends, which, you know, they have done massive improvements on it since the last time I've noticed, but I haven't actually played the game because I haven't found the time to do it. So, yeah, that's basically summing it all up. That's why the uploads have been slow on my channel. That's why, you know, it seems like every single day the games are just getting more and more stale, and now I feel Stick World Legacy is also heading in that direction. Even with the amazing updates, you know, tournament mode, endless deaths, as far as people coming to YouTube to watch videos on it, I feel that's also starting to fail. Like, I can look up Stick World Legacy on YouTube, and you know, there's still people uploading videos on it, but they're not commentary videos like mine. I feel like besides Ace Player, I'm the only other person who commentates Stick World Legacy games while playing them. The other YouTubers I see, it's simply just gameplay, and most of it's actually just hacked stuff, or people, yeah, not hacking, not modding. Modding is an entirely different story. I don't think it's possible to mod Stick World Legacy. But you know what? That could be a way to help bring the game back, to bring the games back. Introduce modding. Now, as we know, with the Balloons games, modding is extremely popular. Everyone does it. I can't think of any people who actually don't like to mod or think modding is actually stale besides a select few people. I feel that if modding Stick World Legacy or Stick World 2 was possible, and just inputting all these fancy new ideas, it would basically take a big step in bringing the game back, bringing the Stick World series back, and you know, just reintroducing the hope that I still have, but I know tons of other players don't have. They just can't stand the game anymore. They've moved away from it, and I've witnessed it, and it really pains me. And it just continuously makes me angry. I still feel this game has, you know, the series has tons of potential, even though it's not the best, you know, up-to-date, super amazing graphics, 3D technology type game. It's still really fun to play because it really does, you know, apply a lot of strategy. but again, over that course of time, it all just faded. And I've seen the efforts from many people to help bring the game back, and those efforts have been in vain. So what I want, and what I can assume that other players who still care about the Steak Wars series want, they want the developers to come back and show a sign that you are still there and that you're going to continue to update your game. All you have to do is leave a single patch note in the login screen of Steak Empire saying, we know it's been slow, but we will continue to update the game and introduce new patches over the next few months. If they were to leave a simple post like that, I guarantee it would bring a ton of players back to the game. But of course, that's never been made because they haven't even posted that. I can't remember the last Steak Empire's patch, but it has been, I want to say it's been a very long time, months if not years since this last patch, and they kind of just faded off. Now I understand they do have lives. As far as I know, Crazy J actually has a family. I don't know the story of Brock or the other, I'm guessing 2 developers, but I mean, seriously, if you somehow get the message of this video, show a sign that you're still there, and if you need help with anything, I mean, there's not very many people you can turn to, but you can still turn to me, because I actually, believe it or not, I still have that commitment. I still have the love for the Steak Wars series, even though it's been seriously going downhill, and I had my moments where I decided this game wasn't good enough for me, and I did leave. I left the Steak Wars series entirely for a while, and this is before I started my channel. I decided to just completely ignore it. During that time period, I actually decided to try and commit myself to balloons, but that's kind of also faded because I kind of lost interest in Balloons TD Battles more specifically. I still play the game. I actually host tournaments on it, but I don't do it a lot, and mainly because I have other problems to worry about, other things to focus on. I haven't been able to play the game as much as I want to anymore. Plus, you know, it kind of got stale to me. But it's not as stale as Steak Empires right now. That's just extreme staleness, or however you want to put it. So what does this mean for me? Are the videos going to stop? Am I going to, you know, quit on my channel? No. I still feel I can get up there. It's gonna take years, and it's gonna be extremely slow. But however, I am still gonna continue to upload and commit to my channel. I don't use it for a job, by the way, so I'm not like that. I'm the kind of person who begs for views. If they don't get any, if they get very little, I'm fine with that. I understand completely, because I know it could be a lot more interesting, but it's not, because of the fact that Steak Empires, or the Steak Wars series, is just dead in general. Even though it can be easily brought back to life, it's going to take time for that. I can understand the low views on my videos because, you know, obviously people aren't going to care about it. Believe me, I have made lots of efforts. I actually made a Google Plus community that was going to be dedicated to Steak Empires, and for like a few weeks, it was amazing. I got members pretty quickly. I used the Steak War Legacy Google Plus community back when it was still in alpha and it was active. I used that, and I wanted to make this completely dedicated to Steak Empires. You know, just introducing strategies, just talking a lot of fun stuff, just an amazing community I wanted to start, and it didn't work out. It ended up dying. So I actually left pretty much I left a farewell post on it, saying, well, you know what? Even if we get no posts or gain no members, this community will remain up, just as a continued support and commitment to Steak Empires, just for some freaking hope that the game's going to come back. That's really all I want, and I know for people who still play this game and who still care about it, and even still comes to YouTube to watch videos on it like I do, I know exactly that's what you guys want as well. So, what does this mean? All we can do is wait. For those of you who still care and still love to play the games as much as I do, all we can do is wait. Because I know sooner or later they're gonna have to come back, unless they completely abandon their game, and that's actually going to start a plan of mine. I'm not gonna go too far into detail, but it will involve me having to learn to code and to program, and obviously learn how to make games and stuff. again, if there's no sign of they're ever if they completely gave up on their games, I'm gonna take up on what they did and actually remake them and make them a lot better. Because again, because it had so much potential back in the day, I hate to see the fact that it's just completely going downhill with no signs of any revival. Like, they're just completely giving up on it. That's how I feel right now, because again, if you haven't responded to anybody who's came to the request with ideas for Stick World Legacy, they only accepted ideas when they were developing it. But since that, there's been tons of posts in the Google Plus community of people saying, oh, well, you guys can do this, that, and the other with the game and introduce it. The main one was make Stick World Legacy a multiplayer game to actually play it online. And that request was ignored, but I can actually understand it because it's supposed to be just a remake of Stick World 1, not an online version. But at the same time, it would be amazing for something like that to happen. I totally saw it being possible, and yet it hasn't happened. And to put it simply, I don't think it will happen. So that's basically summing all that up. So to clean up everything I just said, it's dead because the developers gave up on it. And if we want any hope in them coming back, all we have to do is wait. We can reach out to them the best way we can, but waiting is all we can do right now. And if that doesn't work, if that fails, then I will commit myself to remaking the games and making them a lot better. And again, it's gonna take me years to do it, because I gotta learn programming, I have to learn coding, and I can't do that right now because I'm in school learning something else for a career. So I can't just put that on hold and start, going into learning programming, learning coding and stuff like that, or like learning to mod and whatnot. I'd say that's the main thing. If it were possible to mod Stick World 2, I would go for it. Or mod Stick World Legacy, I would do that. Just introduce tons of new things to make the games a lot more fun. But I mean, that's pretty much it. So it's just gonna be pretty much Stick World 2 gameplay for the rest of the video. I may commentate for a little bit and then I'll just fade off because I mean, there's not much really going on in it. Stick World 2 is a really easy game to beat. Super easy for me, actually. Like, it's impossible for me to lose. I will attempt a video with insane mode no upgrades one day, but that's not gonna be for a while, because again, I have to work on upgrading this computer's performance because it is complete crap right now. How slow it's running. I'm not sure if you guys actually notice it, but every so often, if you look at the bottom left corner, I was actually checking the frames per second while the game was running to see how well it was doing. And with the high graphics on, the frames per second was running as low as 20, ranging between 20 and 19 frames per second, which I think is just, it's awful. It's complete crap. So every so often in the video, you may notice a little message pop up in the bottom left corner of the game. Not the entire screen, just the game itself, where the unit queues are. And you'll see I was checking the frames per second to see how well it was doing. It wasn't good. It was very, very low. And every time those bombers hit, it was horrible. So I will definitely look into fixing that. Hopefully just upgrade the computer's RAM. I can't get a new computer. That would be my third one, and I'm not trying to go that crazy. So for now, I will just commit with this one. I will do my best to decrease the lag and make improvements on it, and hopefully just to continue making uploads in the future. But I do want you guys to know that I have not given up on the channel. I will continue to make videos. They will be slow, and I know the views will be low. I can totally understand that. But I am still here. I am still committed to seeing the Stick World series receive some massive improvements, either from the developers or from me. I will take that step forward, even if it puts me at risk of, remaking somebody else's game. Oh, obviously you wouldn't like that. Like, it's my game. I shouldn't let somebody else remake it. But at the same time, if you like it that much, you gotta commit to it. So that's pretty much going to be it. I'll probably just throw in some music for the rest of this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. and I'll see you all in the next video.